Hello everybody and welcome to another hobby cheating video, and today we are going to talk about one of my favorite things, true metal paints. New ones. Let's get into it.
The strict technomancer that is Vincey V. Let us get to the technique and learn it, Vincey V.
As I said recently when I reviewed the P3 paints, I wanted to take the metallics separately. And there's a simple reason for this. The normal P3 range of metallics they released are basically sort of what you would expect from miniature metallics. But when they did Wave 2, they created a new set of metallics called pure. So like pure gold, pure bronze, pure brass, pure copper, and pure silver. There we go. Got them all. So at any rate, I was really interested and excited for these because they're supposed to be higher quality metal paints. And so I wanted to put them to the test. I hear high quality metal paints, I come a-running. So let's head over to the desk and let's test these things out. All right, first things first, we're going to do a little test of basically the silver against the existing silver, so new pure silver against the existing silver, and new pure bronze against the existing bronze. I'll be honest, I'm not too interested in the original metallic paints. I used them a little bit, I played around with them. As you'll see in this video, I think they're completely average. They're like a standard C- metal paint from a range. There's nothing that they did that was special, and there's nothing that impressed me about the existing line. And I think you'll see that difference very clearly here when we apply them, or at least most of them. So, at any rate, I wanted to start by comparing the silver against the silver. So, we start over something that's just pure black, and I apply the old silver down the right side of the miniature, and it goes on. It looks like metal. It's quite dull. It's a little cold. Doesn't really have a great shine or like that feeling of real polished metal or anything like that. It's good enough. Then I got out the pure silver, and what happened? Look at this. Look how this applies. It's got a slight warm tone to it. Look, this is blowing my camera out. It's so bright, right? It was honestly hard to find the right lighting to shoot this because it is so punchy and strong and reflective. The opacity was incredible. The tone was perfect. It had that luminance and shine of like real silver. I was like immediately blown away. This is the first one that I tested, and when I first put it on, I was like, what am I in for here? Is this the whole range? Is this how they all are going to look? And well, I guess stay tuned. We'll see. So at any rate, like that silver blew me out of the water. I thought it was incredible. So, okay, first test, pretty strong. We have a definite, very significant upgrade over the original silver. So the next thing I wanted to test was the bronze against the existing bronze. So here we'll just take the shield, have it, bisect it, whatever, and then, so the existing bronze down the right side, and the new bronze down the left side. And here I have to say, I applied both of them, and then, I mean, you can see it for yourself. Here's the two of them next to each other. There's like a very slight difference with the bronze on the left. It's like a little shinier, went on a little smoother. But for the most part, it's felt very much the same. So I thought, well, maybe it's the anodization. A quick note on these. So, like, how do they feel and flow and stuff like that? I want to take a moment here to answer this. Well known, my favorite metallics are either Vallejo Metal Color, and then I often like the Speed Paint metallics as well, Speed Paint 2.0. Very different jobs, but both very good. Both are very liquidy, very runny. I hear people say a lot that they can't control the Vallejo Metal Color. The answer to that is you need to just be wicking the paint into your brush, or into your paper towel, sorry. Like take your brush, dip it in the paint, put it in the paper towel, and so on. But these are much thicker. They're not really as gloopy as some metal paints out there on the market, but they are much thicker. I noticed there might have been perhaps a little bit of an, I think there might be a tiny amount of alcohol in the suspension or something, because of the way they were swirling in my water cup and just the way they looked. But they are definitely like a very finely ground pigment, and the mixture is very good. So, like, that is to say, it applies, it has a very strong opacity, even over black, and so on. Okay, let's go ahead and give these things more of a, like, real test. So that was just over black. Let's put them over something that's zenithal. So here I've got a little Skaven Jezzail. And what I did was, I'm just going to use all of them real quick. So basically, I ran through the silver, and then, through the copper, through the bronze, the brass, all of them. I'm just going to let it run here while I'm talking. And, you can kind of see how each one came out. I think that in the end, like when I applied all of these on there, what I initially thought with the sort of, kind of how they came out was, yeah, it's all right. The silver still really blew me away. I think it's still the strongest one. You do need a moist brush. I wouldn't recommend mixing much water with these, but you need a little bit just to make the paint kind of flow because it is thicker. One of the reasons I like both the Speed Paint and the Vallejo Metal Color is because they don't require that, so I can stay pure with whatever mixes in the bottle. Here you just need a tiny amount, and then the flow was perfectly good. So not really marking any points off there. They were still good. All in all, I was like, okay, that helped me get a good sort of doing it on the Skaven here. I got what I felt was like a good understanding of the colors. But I wanted to go deeper. And so I decided to do a deep test of what I thought were the strongest two out of that initial mix, which were the gold and then the silver. So I grabbed that Skaven back up, and on the other side of him, I'm basically going to turn his armor gold. And I have to say, this gold, much like the Speed Paint gold, seems to be kind of reactive to what's underneath it. What I noticed was that the gold on the black came out seemingly way stronger and shinier than the gold on the Zenithal. Like, on that sword, it looked okay. Over the black, it looked absolutely incredible. Like, as I was applying this gold, I was really pretty blown away, in a way that I wasn't by the copper or the bronze or the brass when I tested those separately. So these two really felt the strongest, and interestingly, both of them seem to work best over black or something very dark. And so here you can see how he came out with just the gold and the silver. Again, he's just like blowing the camera out because the reflections here are like so strong. It's unbelievable how crazy this is. But I then wanted to go ahead and apply some of these other paints because the other ones in the range I thought would be really interesting to supplement and shade this gold and potentially silver or whatever. So I mixed a little bit of the bronze into the gold, and it worked as quite a natural shadow color for the gold, creating that deeper ruddy tones in the shadows that I wanted. In the same way, the pure silver worked perfectly as the metal highlight to then pop up the those areas of the gold to make it shine even more. So all in all, pretty happy with how that came out. I thought it was really good. I decided to do a little test. Let's take the pure silver up against Vallejo Metal Color Silver. So I grabbed another Skaven, and we're just going to test on his backpack. And you can see here as I apply both of them, honestly, the pure silver just wins. It's just better. I can't believe I'm on video saying this, but like, look, I'm going to report truth. I've been a Vallejo Metal Color fan for a long time, and this silver is just better than the Vallejo Metal Color Silver. It was inevitable it had to happen eventually. They've had a good run of like 8 years of being the best silver around, but we got there. And this is just it. The reflectivity, the depth of color, the shine, the opacity, everything about it was better. Now, to be fair, my favorite color from Vallejo Metal Color usually wasn't silver. I didn't ever really apply silver directly. I think one of the reasons I always liked Vallejo Metal Color and had good experiences with it is because I always started with the steel or gunmetal or magnesium, one of the darker ones I think has a really rich tone, and then use the silver over top. So I thought I'd do a little comparison here just quickly on the arm to see how the two of those look against each other. And sure, as well as the weapon blade. And sure enough, the steel has about the same shine and sort of depth and tone that the silver does. So really what we're saying here is that the pure silver is just the equal in quality of the steel, the Vallejo Metal Color steel. My favorite metallic paint of all time, bar none, period, end of list. Okay, and it equaled that. And actually, they work so well together. What's fascinating about it when I was applying them and what I realized is Vallejo Metal Color Steel has a little bit of a blue tone to it. It's like slightly cold, which I like. I've always found that to be an advantage for doing like weapons and stuff. The Pure Silver from P3 has a bit of a warm tone to it, which actually makes it the perfect highlight for the cold. Like shadows are cold, highlights are warm in general when you're under sunlight and stuff, which is how we paint most of our figures. And so that really blew me away as I was like, oh my god, these are the perfect pair. And so right away I was like, okay, well, this thing's just in the rotation. Like, this is it. The only other metal that ever came really this close, other than the Speed Paint and the Vallejo Metal Color, was the Chainmail 88 from the discontinued War Colors line, which I thought was also just absolutely incredible and had sort of matched to those old metallic paints from the late 80s and early 90s, but you can't get it anymore, so it's hard for me to recommend it. This is a new contender. So overall, my rankings are basically thusly. I think that the brass is bad. I don't know what this is meant to be. I don't know if it's meant to be brass. I found its shine very underwhelming. That one's a straight pass for me. I don't know any use for this. I think it does not look good. I think it's a bad tone. Okay. Like, that's fine. Every range has some bad paints in it. Copper was my next favorite. Good shine, good luminescence, but a little bit too red. So I would recommend maybe mixing it with just a little bit of the gold to kind of chill it out if you're going to use it. It's just like really red, and like most copper in the world isn't actually that intense saturated red. The bronze was up next. I think the bronze is actually quite strong. It's a good color if you're looking for something in there. I think the bronze could substitute in, frankly, most of the time for copper, and most people wouldn't know the difference. I think it's actually probably pretty close to how we experience copper in the real world. Next up is the gold, which I think is like the second best color in the range. Great gold, like if you're doing Stormcast or Custodes or something like that, I mean, this is great. Is it as good as my gold mixture, linked up in the top? No, it is not. It does not have that level of shine. It does not have that level of opacity. But like that mixture, that my secret gold recipe, requires a lot of work, right? That's a lot of paint mixing and buying pigment and stuff like that. So if you're looking for the simpler alternative that is honestly just like one step down, almost, you know, like for most people's gaming armies, it's really not going to be any different. This is great. It's very good. Like, again, an absolute A if the gold mixture that includes like the pigment and all the best paints on the market is an A+. So, I mean, if you brought home an A on a test, you'd be pretty happy. Finally, of course, the silver. The silver is an absolute standout from this range. This is it. Like, we finally got there. We got a metal paint that is as good or better than some of the Vallejo Metal Color line. It is top-notch. Best paint I've used in a long time in the metal range. Absolutely blew me away. So, I mean, like, I don't know what else to say. Except that congratulations to Steamforged Games and P3 for making a metal paint that I actually like as much. And that has such a wonderful complement to Vallejo Metal Color Steel. And that's just it. Mixing in that steel, it's perfect. It's perfect. Like, this will be the true metal paints that I use this combination going forward on projects. You're going to see this in a bunch of future videos because they nailed it. It is what it is. It wins. So, with that, I'll say thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you to Steamforged Games, again, for sending me these paints. These are in the Wave 2 line. So, I mean, the silver, gold, and bronze are definitely a recommended pickup for me. I think they all have good use. And, you know, hey, if you like the rest of them, get the whole set. At any rate, so thank you. If you liked this, give it a like. Subscribe for additional hobby cheating. We have new videos here every Saturday. If you've got any questions about these metal paints I didn't answer, drop those down in the comments. I always answer every question and comment asked. If you want to support the channel, there's lots of ways you can do so. You can hit our affiliate links down below to pick up your new paints. That doesn't cost you anything extra. In fact, it even saves you money, and it really does help the channel. There's also the podcast that I do. So there's my RPG podcast with John, Fireball the Gazebo, as well as my indie Wargame podcast with Uncle Adam, Snarlcast. You can check both of those out, linked down below. And of course, there is our Patreon. focused on review and feedback and taking your next steps on your hobby journey. As always, though, I thank you so much for watching this one, and we'll see you next time.